Hi guys. Do you ever wonder why you find yourself watching countless hours of YouTube videos and listening to podcasts on narcissistic abuse and emotional abuse constantly while you're trying to figure it out? Well, I did the same thing, and everybody in this boat kind of finds themselves doing the same thing as well, which is why these YouTube channels exist. So let's talk about that today. Why do we do it? How does it help us? And should we be doing it? My name is Amy, and this is NarcAWAY, and I upload weekly videos on all things narcissistic abuse. My mission is to educate, support, and encourage victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse. I want to help to answer questions that we all have after leaving abuse and encourage people to get out of abusive relationships that they may find themselves stuck in. So if you already subscribed to my channel, that's great. Thank you. Hey, seagull, be quiet. I'm making a YouTube video here. Sorry about that. I'm into the great wild today, so pardon any interruptions. As I was saying, if you guys subscribe, thanks so much. I appreciate it. I love seeing the channel grow. It means that people are looking for help and working at recovering and getting better, getting over the abuse that they've suffered. If you don't subscribe, consider subscribing. You might like my videos, they might help you. And if not, thanks for stopping by, and I wish everybody the best always. So, when I first discovered narcissistic abuse, I was obsessed with YouTube videos. I was watching hours of YouTube videos every day. I found some great channels that the seagulls want to chime in. That really helped me understand and learn what narcissistic abuse was. And that's probably what you're doing too. I had no idea there was even such a thing as narcissistic abuse. I had heard the word narcissist, like probably you all have, and we associate that word with an overt narcissist. And this is the person that's looking in the mirror all the time, flexing his muscles, and concerned about how he looks. And this is known as a somatic narcissist. The thing was, I wasn't dealing with that type. Yes, my ex definitely had some of those qualities. He definitely had some vanity, but I mean, really, that's not what makes narcissistic abuse so evil and hard to get over. It's usually the covert narcissists, which are the really sneaky ones, the ones that are looking for the supply to feed their ego. And you don't know the abuse is happening until you're so far deep into the rabbit hole that you look back on your life and you just question, how did I get here? Why am I here right now? I'm a smart person. I'm not a fool. You don't consider yourself a person that would be taken advantage of, but these types of narcissists are very good at manipulating and controlling and bringing you to a place you would never think you would find yourself. And so what happens is once you discover this, and usually it's by Googling, some of the behaviors that you're being subjected to. In my case, it was the silent treatment. I used to get that an awful lot, so I was Googling the silent treatment. And it brought me to narcissistic abuse. And I was like, well, what is this? I've never even heard of such a thing. So I watched a video, and all of a sudden the alarm bells really started hitting home. And I was like, well, yeah, I've been through that, and yeah, my ex does that, and yes, I can relate to this. And so what happens is you start making sense of it all. Everything starts to add up. When you're in an abusive relationship and you share with your friends and family what you're going through, you know, the people that care about you, they're going to help you the very best they can. But the thing is, if they've never been through this type of abuse before, they're not going to see the signs, just like you didn't. When you first discover this, you're kind of taken aback. And it's that aha moment that is so relieving and it's so justifying, because you've been searching for these answers for a long time, you know, most likely months and most likely actually even years. And you're trying to figure out what's going wrong. Why can't you make him happy, or her, him or her? Why can't you make this person that you love happy? Why do they treat you so badly? What is it that you're doing wrong? And you can't figure out how to please this person, even though you're doing everything in your power to try to keep this person happy. And it's never good enough. And it's so frustrating and it's so hard to wrap your head around that finally, when you discover narcissistic abuse, you realize what's happening. And it's not you, it's them. It's them manipulating you into always being wrong. It's them blaming you. They love to blame. They never accept responsibility. They never apologize. And all of a sudden, the dots are connected for you. And so there's a lot to this type of abuse. And once you watch one video and it answers some questions, you have more questions. The more questions that are answered, the more questions you have. So you find yourself in this cycle of just watching videos because you're getting more answers. And the beautiful thing about YouTube is that all these different wonderful people who make these videos, they all have slightly different experiences, but really they're all the same, because narcissists are so similar. So everybody has a little bit of a different version of what happened, or a little bit of a different take on it. But in the end, the answers are still the same, the reasons are still the same, and so what it does is it justifies. It answers your questions and it justifies your feelings, and that's why you get so hooked on watching YouTube videos. And each video generally covers one topic, and there are so many branches. You know, you talk about the different types of abuses, the silent treatment, the narcissistic rage, the abandonment, and then you get into issues about the new supply and the cheating, and just all these different facets of this type of abuse. And each time you relate to one, you want more information. And education is key, as with anything, not just narcissistic abuse, but just in general, in real life. The more you know, the more you know. And the more you know, the better you do, essentially. Once you are educated on any one topic, you're better equipped to deal with it. So what you're doing when you're watching these narcissist videos, narcissist awareness or narcissistic abuse or whatever you want to call it, is you're educating yourself. You're learning. And nobody is really able to prepare you for this and to teach you this unless they've gone through it. And because it's such an insidious disease, because it's, or not disease, but I mean, it is a disease in a lot of ways. I'll call it a disease because I feel like I was affected by a diseased person. Definitely disordered, if not diseased. But you are gaining knowledge. And once you have that knowledge, you're able to understand what happened to you and why. Your friends and families don't have that unless they have gone through similar abuse, in which case, you know, you are a little bit lucky in a way that you're going to have somebody who understands it and can advise you. But this way, you know what, it's very impartial. When you're watching YouTube videos, the video creators don't know you and they don't know your partner or the person who is abusing you. They are impartial. They are just telling you a story from their own personal abuse or from their education. And so when you can relate that to your own personal story, it becomes very relatable and very helpful. So with that being said, keep watching, because you know what, you're not doing any harm. I think once you've healed, unless you're gonna go down a path where you choose to help others, there will come a point where you'll just stop watching videos. You will move on from the hurt and the pain of the abuse. You'll leave your abuser in the past through no contact, and there will come a point where you stop watching these videos, which is fantastic, because that's when you're healed. That's when you're really, truly healed. But until then, keep educating yourself. Learn everything you need to know and learn how to deal with this. Learn how to heal, learn how to go no contact, and learn how to self-love. Okay, so I hope that answers some questions today. I love you all. If you don't subscribe, please consider hitting that subscribe button now. And thanks for coming outside on such a sunny day with me. I love you all.